Whoa! 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 What? Hello Internet. Today we have the ELEGOO Smart Robot. This is the 3.0 version. So mind you, they keep updating it, adding more sensors. This one has obstacle avoidance, line tracking, an app for iOS and Android devices, and an IR sensor. I'm sure you can use it with your smartphone. Well, obviously there's an app, but I'm saying like it'll react to that sensor, as well as it probably has a remote in here as well. I think I saw that. I already pulled this out. You get 3 boxes, 4 boxes, the main kit. Makes a great gift, not too hefty. So we got our assembly tutorial over here. We'll get to that in a little bit. It looks kind of cumbersome, but I think a lot of the cumbersome in this build is going to be with the software, not necessarily the hardware. The hardware seems fairly, you know, easy to do. What's in here? Oh, these are the big acrylic plates. All right, so you got A and A. And we'll get to that in a second. Okay, I'm gonna do this one last. That one's kind of the scary one. This one should be fairly easy. It's all the sensors. Here's the wheels in the car here, and the motors. So 4 wheels, 4 motors, 2 USB cables, one micro and one larger, like the printer style. I forget the name of that one. And then here's that remote I was saying that you're going to be able to use with the IR sensor. And then here's where it gets a little crazy. OMG. Well, not too bad. You have, it looks like this is some sort of battery pack. And that's cool. It gives you batteries. There's batteries in here already, and it's off. And so you can probably charge the thing up via USB. Well, you can. There's a little micro USB right there. So you got some offsets, another servo motor here, some risers, some wiring, and you do get screwdrivers included. And they even give you some electrical tape. So remove the protective film before assembling. All right, so that was one without wetting it. Let's try wetting it now. So we got a wet paper towel. Come on, let's see. Come on, let's. Oh wow. I don't know if I'm getting luckier or that actually helped a lot. I think that helped a lot. Look at that. They should put that in the instruction manual. All right. Step 1. Complete. Step 2, 1 DC motor. Oh, so no, these are these motors here. 4 DC motors. We got 4 DC motors, 1 aluminum block. Where's my aluminum block? And 2 M3s. So for motors. Okay, here you go. M3 30s, M3 aluminum block. Okay, cool. So everything is in here. Step 1 is all in its own bag. Wow. Step 1. Jesus. They really don't do a good job of explaining this step right here. Okay, now I get it. That these blocks go like this alongside the motor. Wow. That is quite a design. Okay. So, okay. And my question with these, I guess you can hold the block and it'll kind of let it tighten. 1. All right, so let's give this one a whirl. So you see that you got the 2 little holes here, you got the 2 little holes here. Those just go in like that, and then we screw in from the back through the 2 holes with the same baggie, just had the shorter M3 screws in it. All right, I'm just about done with the motors. All right, we now have all of our motors connected on. And you can see on the back here, it's just 2 screws each. And make sure you're just orienting those holes on the left side here while you follow the directions. The next thing is you want to take 1, 2, and 3 from the 4 Uno bag. Okay, so there's a bag that says 4 Uno. Here it is right here. And then the other thing we're going to need is there's one sensor that has a heat sink on it, and this bag here with looks like some washers, some plastic washers, and your M3s by 14s. Or they call them shims, not washers. Pay attention to the direction of the L298N module. Okay, so again, let's orient it just like the instruction. The 3 no holes in the back, and the heat sink faces the back. So I still have an extra set of washers and bolts, which is kind of concerning. Am I supposed to double shim that? We're gonna have to go back to that. Yeah, it's only saying 4 though. If you look at this square box, it's saying only 4. Four shims, 4 washers, 4 nuts, you know, or 4 nuts, 4 screws. All right, so now let's just tighten these up on the. They should give you a tool to hold the nuts. All right, and then now you plug in all the motors. Pay attention to the direction, the wiring of the DC motor is shown on the image. Yeah. Yeah. So, pretty simple. You only have 2 on this side. So, 2 on this side. Well, we're on the same side, but make sure you get a nice clicking sound. We go to the other side. Same deal. We're only using the slots on the side. Although there is a slot on the back that it would actually fit in, it's definitely not the slot you want to use. We're going to put something else there. All right, our motors are done. Maybe just tuck these down a little bit. Cool. We're making some strides. The only thing I'm concerned about is why we have so many extra bolts here. And it says 4 Uno. I guess they give you a whole extra set in case you crack them. I don't know. Let's keep going. So next, we have the line tracking module. And I can see it here. I can see it because it has this little that little sensor right there. So there it is. There's the module, and there's probably some bag that's labeled for line tracking. So far we have extra screws here, right there. I'm just gonna set them there. So we have our line tracing, and please pay attention to the direction of the line tracing. Okay, cool. So, I think this is the front of the car here. This is the front of the car here with the extra holes. And the line tracing goes on the bottom. And it's going to face the front of the car, this little sensor, where you're gonna have the wiring coming back through the hole, right? So wiring through the hole, sensor towards the front. We have some offsets here. So looks like it's going to go screw into an offset. You all see that? Screw, offset, and then the sensor's gonna go on top with a nut. So we're just gonna install the screw and offsets first on the bottom. This is getting a little, where if you have big hands, this is getting where it's kind of a little trickier. And this thing's starting to get some weight to it, which is not a bad thing. I think, if anything, it'll keep my kid from throwing it around, maybe. Maybe, we'll see. And then I'm just gonna tighten those offsets really quick before we put the board on. Just using a screwdriver, or the Allen screwdriver. All right, remember this sensor's gonna go towards the front. And yeah, I guess this is where, yeah, it would be nice to have some sort of wrench, which I'm gonna go get one, because I don't wanna, I don't know, I would want to put lock nuts here myself, but I don't know why they, I mean, I know why they do it. It's all part of their standardized formula. So a 732 or a 6mm will work on these bolts. Okay, cool. We have our sensor on. And now we have a bunch more sensors. We have the Uno board. Oh wow, look at that. It's a pretty cool looking board right there. Ooh, and there's our power and our USB. And look at this board. Pretty cool board. All right, and then the expansion board. What's this little guy. All right, so going from the top, this one is the Uno R3, then the expansion, and then the Bluetooth module. Pay attention to the front and back side of the acrylic chassis when assembling. I agree. Oh, these stack onto each other. Okay. Okay, yeah, so screws go in. Okay. So this is gonna be similar. Screw first, screw. You're not actually gonna be using that fourth hole up here by the button. Screw, screw, screw. 3 screws, 3 shims. Right, because we're not doing one of the screws. Ah, it's hard to do. It's harder than it looks. Oh, please. Just go in the hole. Go in the hole. Oh, got it. Got it. Cool. And then last, gotta get those nuts on the back. Oh, we lost one. I guess you should work with gravity here. That's probably your best bet. Are all my shims still on? Yes, cool. Now let's tighten this down. All right, we got the board on. It's oriented correctly. We got the bolts on the back. Next up, we take the next board, which supposedly just fits right on top. Okay, cool. So you have a longer row and a shorter row, longer row. So it's gonna sit right on top. Looks like it only goes in one way. Ooh, this feels good. Oh, but does it go? It looks like you have a couple ports that aren't being used. Okay. All right, and then the Bluetooth module goes here in the corner. Oh, it even says Bluetooth. So it's all labeled on here. Do you guys see that? Bluetooth? It says it on there. Cool. All right, we're on page 9, battery pack. Okay, so backside. So the battery pack does go on the actual unit. Doesn't go on. They're showing it to us like this with the Bluetooth module. You can see it, and they're saying the logo goes like this. This all looks correct, and yeah, those line up. These two screw holes here line up. Power switch, status indicator. Oh, this does have a status indicator on it. And there should be a, for cell box tires. So this has to be flipped around. And then we just go 1 and 1. 1, 1. And then they say plug it in right here. It's very obvious where it gets plugged into. There's nothing else you can mistake it for. You do kind of got to twist it a little bit though to get it correctly in. The clip you want facing. So there you go. You can kind of push it down a little bit, get it out of the way. All right, we're done. Smart Robot Kit. We have the ultrasonic sensor. So for that, we're going to need this piece here. And where's that sensor? Oh, here it is. It's just upside down. That's why it doesn't look. It's looking for those little big cylinders. And then there's a pack of screws that say for ultrasonic sensor. I should still have another screw around here. Yeah, this is that. That's what I'm left with so far. So I got a couple baggies of screws. Wow, this is getting small. let's unravel this. And we've got our bolts and our washers, that's fine. And the sensor, needs to be slightly offset, it looks like, yep. So there's the sensor. The wiring, you know, the plug goes towards the back. And then you just screw it in with the washers on the back. So we got that mounted up onto the little servo motor with the nuts in the back. The next thing, we have the cross screws, the M2 cross screws with the nuts on the dead plate. So here's the dead plate, the one thing we didn't take off. So let's go ahead and remove the sticker. And then, oh, okay, this is what the servo motor is going to mount to. So we have 3 dots. This thing pops out, the wire goes through. The motor has it going, the wiring they have it in the diagram, the wiring coming out. If you have the 3 dots here, coming out the left side. Yeah, and then they have it oriented that way, just like that. So now we just they put it in backwards. So they put the screw, put the nut facing up. I don't know if that really matters, but let's just go ahead and do it. Oh, I see. It's probably because of the tightening of the nut is a little easier. So you're using the next size up screw from the last screw you used. Okay. That's on there really tight now. Cool. Page 13. Oh, we still got ultrasonic stuff to mount. So, okay, now this starts to make sense. There's only really one way this is all going to fit on here. So wire goes through. Oh wow, look at that. And that hole is just set up for that's why you can't put the nut on the bottom, because the nut will hit there. So make sure you do put the screws in backwards. You put the nuts on the top there. All right, and then the last 3, just go straight down. 1, 2, 3, right? Oh, you gotta plug everything in too. We'll plug it in. Don't worry. Let's mount it first. This is pretty cool. It's gonna be able to see. All right, so this, they want you to come back out, the wire just going back out, and then this is a 3-pin. It even says it right there, servo. But let's pay attention to the color coding here. Looks like orange goes on the outside. So there you go. Orange on the outside. And then, I don't know why they give us so much wire. I mean, I should probably strap tie this later. We'll get to that. And then they want you to start opening up your cable bag for the first time and plug in your data cable to the sensor here. And so luckily they're all different. There's a 6-pin, a 5-pin, a 4-pin, and a 2-pin. And so this one is a 4-pin. So we're just gonna grab the 4-pin. It's all black. And that one should be fairly simple. So it only fits one way. And then it should even, yeah, there's only one 4-pin on here, but you can see ultrasonic, it's labeled ultrasonic sensor as well. So it's quite labeled well, and you literally can't mess it up because all the slots are different. So that page was easy. All right, now we have the offsets. We're actually done with this piece here. We're gonna go back to our motors, and they have it oriented like this with the heat sink towards the back. We still have some extra parts here, and we're on our last bag of screws, or there's one bag right here of offsets, but we'll get to that. We got some wires left. And we got the remote and the wheels too. All right, so this is pretty self-explanatory. These little pillars offsets are gonna go up like that. So I'll just feed in the screw, and then I'll twist on the offset. Pretty simple. It's actually really easy to tighten this by hand, but I'm actually gonna do all three and then tighten them 3 at a time. And then I would just grab your screwdriver, hold, since you had a good grip on the left, hold the grip on the left, and then just screw with your right. And then we'll move to the other side. 3 more. And looks like these are your last remaining holes. If you have any extra holes besides the 2 holes in the middle for running your wires, you've done something wrong. Or you're doing it out of order, which, you know, that's fine. It's your project. You know, assemble the way you want. I've never assembled this particular model before, so I want to make it as... Ooh, does that one not thread? Oh, I think maybe you got to watch this. If it doesn't thread, you might want to just rotate it 180 degrees. The pillar, the brass pillar. All right, and then we just go back through and tighten. Now we're gonna do some more wiring. Oh wow, they just go ahead and sandwich it just like that. One by 2. So that's this cable right here. So it only goes in one way. I'm assuming it goes into that board there. Yep, so it goes into this bottom board. And what I'm guessing is they want you to come out, you know, the other side here. So how do you orient it? Looks like you have these screws to the left, these screws to the left, heatsink towards the right. You have this ultrasonic sensor to the left, and they want you to plug this power cable into here. So I'm gonna take it towards the front hole to bring it up before I attach these. So make sure you pull this cable out, they call it a 2P cable, and then it's just going to go into the L298N power. So that's all that is this is just a power cable to share power with this to the bottom motors. Now this is kind of sitting funny. Oh no, it's good. So we got the power cable connected. They haven't told us to screw in the top yet. Looks like you want to do some wiring. So the next wire is the 6-pin wire. So this is my 5, here's my 6. And the 6-pin connects the expansion board to the board up here. So I like to start on the bottom. And then there's only one 6-pin here, so we'll go into there. Get it nice and tight. Go through that same hole here because it's towards the front. This one's a little harder to weave through. You might have to do an angle there. Get this out, and there's only one 6-pin. It's actually the one further away though, which is, I kind of want to go through here. I know this is kind of weird, but I don't want to put any stress on, you don't want to put any stress on any particular cable. All right, so the 6-pin, and then the last one is the 5-pin cable, which is going from, okay, this one's going to be a little more difficult, from all the way on the bottom of the unit all the way to the top. Okay, so that's not too bad. So we're going to flip the whole thing over. It's going from the bottom here. This is the tracking sensor. Then we go through. Let's flip it back. open it up. We have it coming through here. Then we want it to come all the way to the top. Now this is a 5-pin, so it'll go through. Bring it up, and this one is tight. Like this is oh, okay, that's why I got it caught down there. I was like, man, that's not a long enough cable. Okay, yeah, it is plenty long. And plug that one in to the line tracking. And now I have everything plugged in, and they should just tell me to screw it all together now. Screw it all together, and then we got to do the wheels. So I'm going to start with the corners, just so this thing doesn't slide around as much, and then I'll do the middle ones. It's actually quite aligned once you get it all. All right, and then the last thing is the wheels. Pretty nice little wheels for a small kit. Did we ever have to use these? Did I miss something? No? If anything, it would have been during a servo motor. Thank goodness. Tire change, NASCAR style. So these do only go on one way. They plop right on. There's a little groove in there. And then you just screw them in. I'm gonna hand tighten them. Hey, get in there. There we go. Oh boy, which is the remote here. Let's just see, does it come? Oh, you just pull this out to activate it. And let's see. Oh, you gotta turn on. Oh, well, I have the battery pack off, so that would make sense. But you can charge the battery pack here on the side, no problem. But here, let's turn it on. Okay, it's on. We got a red dot. Ooh, do you guys see that move? Let's try it. Here we go. Whoa! 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 What? Oh my goodness. Okay, it's working. There we go.